I am very excited for this. I traveled out today. It's been a long journey to get here, but sitting in this room, feeling the energy, it's going to be amazing. If you're unfamiliar with the format, I'll explain it one more time as we're just about to get into the game here. There are 8 players in this semifinal. Only the top 4 will advance to the grand final. In order to get there, you have to score points by playing rounds repeatedly and placing high positions. First place in a round gets you 10 points, second place gets you 8, and then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You need to reach a total of 120 points to get to the finalist status, where afterwards winning 1 round is required to lock in your spot. But now we will see the ascent where 70% of this prize pool is allocated 62,000 euros or $66,000 for first, 70,000 for second, and 8,000 euros for third. And fourth place gets nothing. It's only top 3 out of these 16 that will walk home with a prize. Here we go. On to dirt. I think is how you say it. The dirt pipe trial map is how we'll pronounce it in English. A lot of tricks that can be done here. A lot of skips that can be done if the players dare. First round is underway. Let's hear it for our first semifinal of Ascensions. Third step. Now this was picked by Bren, who wanted it right off the bat, but he is 7th place going through the opening checkpoints here, and I can see they're now trying to drive on this pipe as fast as they can while making sure they don't fall off. You really cannot afford to fail rounds and have to respawn a lot. You want that consistency. Even if it's a third, even if it's a 4th place, you just want to make sure you don't fall off. And Grenady here off to a flying start. Smooth steering over that pipe and staying on the correct side to have the right amount of pressure so that his car does not slip off. You want to always stay on the inside of the turn. And here, a little bit of a split field. It is Wosal challenging Grenady for that first place, and Richie coming through as well. Onto the last shortcut here through the checkpoint, and now if you full speed across, you can almost jump all the way down with a risk. Wosal with the flip. Grenady bouncing on the plastic. Wosil is going to win the first round. Grenady barely getting second. Richie, who making it through that finish in 5th place. Bren getting 6th, Eve 7th, and Binks 8th after that big respawn. And a 1-minute winning time here is quite solid. We've seen players drop times down in the 58s here. And there are certain skips you could do, all right? For time attack world, actually, there's certain skips you could do. Whether you can do them on stage is a different thing. But in this first pipe turn, with a lot of speed, it is possible to jump across at the end of this first circle right onto the second. We're not going to see anyone dare to try that here. Beyond that, there's also potential for a skip near the ending. Getting a lot of speed and then jumping all the way down almost to the second pipe on the left. Now though, look at this. This is why Bren picked this. He has cleared the field by about half a second, but again, this is the part where Richie tended to get a lot of speed, and he's climbing back up. Bren with the respawn, gone from the field. Suddenly Richie in first. Last time the ending jump was an obstacle for him that he ended up upside down on. Heave leading into that last pipe, getting a lot of speed too. Grenady a bit shaky. Heave going on the right side, getting a clean landing. Richie getting quite clean of a landing as well. Heave winning the round, but oh, so close for that second place. It's still Bren by just 1/100th of a second ahead of Grenady. 9 getting 4th, but that will mean that it is Grenady leading after 2 rounds played on this. Bren has prettied the scoreline a little bit, now up to 11 on his own map choice. And the pace here was way faster by Heave, Richie, and especially Bren, who respawned and still got second place. He was on pace for a 58. Third round now. Keep in mind, we will be only playing 4 rounds per map. So if you pick a map and you make it your everything, if you crash 2 of the 3 first rounds, that's a lot of value lost here for Bren, who now has to take a lot of risks to catch back up. Trying to stay on the correct trajectory through that first one, maybe getting a little closer. And now how fast you want to dare to go through this corner. A lot of players getting an awkward bump, but staying on. And we have all 8 players in the field. Richie, though, hitting the wall there, not getting a good exit wobble. Bren going to risk here most likely. He's not going to be satisfied with an 8th place. Going to get a lot of speed through that Ascension logo on the sausage blocks up to 4th now. Maneuvering the field last bounce, getting a clean landing, a lot of speed for Bren, who might just pass up the entire field. Bren, from last to first on his own map choice, despite the early mistake, is not going to let this one slip. Kicking things off with another 10 points for himself. That is a champion comeback in a semifinal when you need it most, in the biggest tournament we've ever had. Heroics here from Bren, and he's going to take the lead in the match with that, I believe, 1 point ahead of Heave and Grenady, who have been consistently in the top positions. One more round here for Bren to make use of his map choice. He's not going to be seeing this map again for another full rotation, 32 rounds at least. Gotta make it worthwhile here. But remember, last round he was like a second behind the field at this point in the track, and now he's up there near first. But we have seen a lot of pace in this from Wosal as well. On the inside line there, Wosal still staying level. They jump up the side to get less airtime, and it is Wosal and Bren who have found the best flow on this last round of the pipe map. On the inside, Wosal, a lot of speed through the ascension. Logo almost hitting the top. Now setting up for that last shortcut bounce through the checkpoint. Bren again going more on the left side. Wosal wobbly, but Bren so much control. Awkward landing that should go to the finish. Grenady sniping it away by a 1/10 of a second. And with that, Grenady will be in the lead of the match. But great start for both Bren and Grenady, two of the favorites that people had in the predictions. Also very fast times here, 59 low consistently is not easy to drive. And I think an explosive start to this tournament playoffs. Here we go. Beautiful oasis scenery here with a cave. That's why it's called Grotesque. Every Serrator map has a pun in it in French. So Grotesque, it has a grotto, you know? It's hard to understand these puns sometimes, but sometimes it makes sense. Now, out to the left. About half the field are trying to do this. Bren failed the shortcut and Binks as well. But if you look at Glust and Richie, the reason they do this is to have more speed for this entire part here. And at the end of it, we will see Glust up near the front with that shortcut. That is why he loves this map. That is why he picked it. And just like Bren, he only gets 4 rounds on his map of choice. But right now, he is 0.2 ahead of everyone else on one of the most skill-based, not that luck-heavy maps in the map pack. Look at this. He's dominating right now before the grotto, which is a very bumpy part. You're driving on these rock slabs, descending almost like a staircase before one final jump into the finish, where you need a low flip out to the right here. Gloss missing it! And it's going to be Heave barely winning the round here by a 1/10. Ooh. Glust with dominating pace there, but with that mistake, the last hurdle, he's going to be down almost in last in the match now. Grenady and Bren both scoring decently, but Heave closing the gap up towards them now. Only 3 points between the top 3. But again, look at this start from Glust. Instantly up into first here, and this is a way better start than the previous round, where he was about equal to everyone else. Now, I would say that he was further ahead, but no, they're matching him. The uphill was maybe not that good. The landing here a bit shaky, but he still keeps all the platform. If you touch the grass here, for one, you're not a gamer, but for two, it's penalty grass. It's gonna slow you down a lot. There are still certain spots where you can cut across the grass a little bit, like right here with the reactor booster. Makes it worth it there for Glust. Richie missing the drift a bit. Wosal catching up to him. But again, Glust has outpaced the entire field on his own map choice. Can he get this ending right? Cannot afford to flip out too early. Has such a huge gap to work with, and a high flip should still do it. Richie though, woo! What a great ending from Richie, but 50.7 from Glust. And Heave, has to be said, is also doing so well on these maps. I don't think people would predict that after 6 rounds of play that he would be in first place. But he is. 40 points right now. 1/3 of the way to that 120-point mark. Out to the left on the shortcut once again. Richie this time, I believe, with the best shortcut. Bren, Binks, and Glust joining them. You might ask yourself, why are the other players not doing it? And the reason is that it's just too risky. On maps like these and in this setting with a lot of nerves and a lot of pressure, some players just favor the consistency of not wanting to take any big chances in the start, get a decent run going, and then maybe look to take some risks near the ending. but at least give yourself a fighting chance here. If you're Grady, you are in 6th place, but with a risky ending, maybe you can make that a 2nd, a 3rd. This time it's Binks. Into the cave in first. Heave is right there once again. Hasn't really had a bad round. Gloss though. Upside down into the cave. Damage. As we now see Heave challenging Binks here, getting a lot of speed. Low flip could do it for Heave. It should be Binks. Bren in 2nd. I believe Heave actually missed a big respawn. 50.5. Very competitive times here. It's actually quite close to the world record, which is a 50 low, if memory serves me right. Unfortunate for Heave. Lost a little bit of momentum with that, but has also built up enough points to be able to afford it. And a much needed 10-pointer for Binks. He was last there by a lot, but 10 points puts him at 24. Now equal to Mime, who's also not had too much screen time, except for that very first round, I believe, where he was up near the top. Very hard to keep up with these players, though. Every single round is quite close to the world record pace. Heave getting a lot of speed here. Catching up to Richie and Glust, who are not the most established names in the esport here. Bren and Grady have been around, and especially Mime too, and Binks on the top stage, Trackmania and the Grand League for the past couple of years. Right now, these Serrator players are giving them a challenge. Heave into the checkpoint in the cave. Glust in first. Last chance on his own map choice. 4th round, 4th flip. Woo! 100th ahead of Richie and 400ths ahead of Wosal. But first place for Glust. This one, Numport. I hope I'm saying this right. I'm probably not. Numport. I don't know. The tire map, all right? This one has a very tricky obstacle near the ending. That jump that you see in the cinematic here through the Continental Tire has made and broken dreams of getting to this semifinal, and it might make or break dreams of getting to the grand final as well. Looking especially at Richie, who got to the finals by making that jump on his 3rd attempt. He was 1st place, going into that jump twice, and then failed that last jump, but critically still made it. Heave also, I believe, qualified on this map after Richie failed. So a lot of memories from the previous matches. But already we've had a mistake from Grady. One of his first in this match. Bren leading before this grass jump. You want to land a bit on the right side and get a lot of speed through this left-hander, and then aim on the right side, release appropriately through the tire. Bren respawning, Heave making the first jump perfectly, full speed, ahead of Wosal. That's going to be good for Heave, especially after Grady and Bren both respawn. Some of the top players here scoring the least points. He's going to come back into that top 4, which is what we're playing for at the end of the day. The top 4, we're going to make it to the final here. Points limit 120. We're almost halfway there. And look at how close it is. 52, 51, 50, 48, 47. Only looking a little bleak right now for Mime, Glust, and Binks. On board with Mime through the dirt part. Passing up a few players, trying to land in a slight ice slide here. Not because you want the speed, but mostly to control your car. Set up for the ice slide through this corner. Control the gear. Don't jump too far into this Ascension logo. And he gets so much more speed than Binks. Is going to pass up Grady as well. Looking for 3rd now. Richie and Bren up near 1st. Richie's been in this spot before. Needs to hit the jump though. Bren respawned in 1st place here last time. This time a bit out to the left, hitting penalty grass. Gonna have an awkward setup, looking very bleak for Bren right now in this round. Very hard to line up the jump from that setup, and he is gonna miss it. And triple fail! It's Binks taking 1st place! Showing just how hard this jump is. Everybody not getting the speed to jump cleanly through the tire, landing full speed on that downhill. And you can really tell in the setup already, in the grass turn. If it doesn't look intentional what the player is doing there, it is very likely they're off their ideal course and they might fail it. It's all about rhythm, it's all about feeling. And Heave turtling into the finish to the delight of the crowd. Grady retaking 1st place in the match. Now Mime, he tweeted earlier today, Mime, a quote that I really liked, which was 1% faith, 1% chance, 99% faith. That he was going to try his best, even if the chance of getting to the finals and winning is low. 1% chance, 99% faith. And I think, although being in last place in the match, he still has a lot of faith left in the tank. No stranger to playing matches and coming back. Mime is trying again, and look at Bren's place on this map. Once again in first, has respawned 2 rounds up in first place through the checkpoint. Can he get the jump now? That looks good for Bren, who might get his first 10-pointer. Mime missing the jump, but Bren, a well-deserved first place and 10 points. And Binks as well, scoring the 8 here for second place, leveling the field a lot now. The top 3 still scoring decently. Wosal with the 1-pointer, having a respawn. Last round here on Mime's map choice has not gone the way he'd hoped, and he slides here in the start. That's not what you want either. Oh, Bren risking, barely surviving. Even with a clip, he's still fourth. That wet tire part, so hard to control. Now it's Heath, Binks, and Richie up first. You can be too fast out of this ice slide. You have to release a little bit, but the less you release, the more you dare to risk, the better. Binks getting a nosedive over that downhill. So much more speed than Heath. This is going to translate to a 0.2 of a second lead. And Binks right now with 10 more points could jump up into third almost on the rankings after being near last going into this map. But he needs to clutch the last jump. Bren seems to have found the flow of it. Landing near the right side, air brakes to stabilize the car there. Beautifully done. Heave looks like he has a good low. No, they all miss it, and Mime looks like he's going to get his 10-pointer here. Finally, Mime breaking through the rut. Binks jumping over the tire, just needs to get to the finish. It's chaos, Bren as well. It's pure chaos. They're scoring 6th and 7th here, and Heave is still respawning. But very good for Mime to see that he still can win a round here, get 10 points on the board, get a little bit closer. Trying to look at the hands right now to see if they're jittery. It looks like Wosal is a little jittery on his hands. Can't really fault him as well. I'd be nervous if I was on the stage, and especially for Wosal, as this is the map Wosal chose in the map pack. I talked to him in the break room, and he said he mostly only had time to practice the maps from the first map pack, and this is one of them. There are 2 map packs from the 2 qualifiers, and Wosal mostly only played the ones from his qualifier, where he made it to this semi-final. The second qualifier maps he hadn't had a chance to take a look at pretty much at all. So he needs to score upwards of 30, probably close to 40 points here in the 4 rounds to have a good chance at winning. It's a multi-lap track, and it's symmetrical. It starts with a jump and alley-oop through this ring, and you want to go as low as you dare to go. Go past this Quarterpipe. 2 neo slides, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and then another neo slide and a 4th one into the multi-lap. Binks here crossing the split with a 28, a good first lap. Then he can jump across to this pizza slice and continue. He got a bit of a bad landing here. Wosal is in second, only 3 tenths behind, and so he could score decently in this first round. Could even look to catch up to Binks, who has a bit of a bad jump here, jumping a bit too far. But the gap is increasing. Wosal's not gotten a good jump himself. He's getting passed by Bren on the splits. Binks still solid up in first, and will be, 3 laps. Memory serves me wrong here. It's another 3rd lap here. So nothing's done yet, but Binks has a 6/10 lead, very clean with these neo slides. Oh, that looked low. I think he jumped too low. Yeah, going too early off the Quarterpipe, and that's how easily things can flip. Now Wosal up in first together with Bren. Close fight here. Bren has a bad setup though, and this is where Wosal might snipe it away. The neo slide, full speed. Ooh! Daring to use all the space that was available on the track. A 124 and 10 points for Wosal on his own track. So far, it has been the standard. It has been the story. You pick the map, and you are just dominant on it. But you can look at the scoreboard there. The world record, a 122.17 by Gwen, who is a lot of people's favorite to win the tournament today. He's going to be playing in the second semifinal, but that looked like a pristine run. Try even imagining driving 2.6 seconds faster. And I do not understand how he does it. For now, quali 1, semi 1. Oh, Grenadi's missed the jump. And the crowd is back to its usual ways. Cheering for the players mid-jump here. First split, first lap, Binks up in first. Onto the small pizza slice on the side here, Mime too slow. Not getting the drift right, and now? It is amazing, the energy here in this room, and it's only going to heat up throughout the night. If you're just getting into the stream, I hope you're enjoying it, having a good time. So much more Trackmania to be had in the next couple hours here. Legendary moments to witness in this esport. Bren versus Binks, last lap. This is where Binks made a mistake in the previous round, going too low. Richie going very low, trying to catch up. Look at this nosedive. Oh, does not align with the edge, and that is going to cost him 2 positions. But the battle for first ensues with Bren having a 2/10 of a second lead. Can Binks close in here? Looks like Richie will be passing at least Heave. But Bren does take the first place. And it's going to be Binks, followed by Grady, Richie, Heave, Glust, Mime, and now Wolsal in last here. Did not get anything to work that round. And a very respectable time as well, 1:23.24 from Bren is very fast to drive on stage. Here we go again. You can notice that Mime, the only player to not do this first jump, and it has to do with needing to land in a wobble to initiate a drift past that first corner. If you don't do that, then it's not going to work out. You can see that Mime, despite going safe here, is not too far behind. And it is only on the first lap he goes for that safe strat, but Bren right now, this is quite turning into something. He's at 83 points. He's only 37 points away from finalist. And he's up in first once more, across. Keeping more speed than Glust, extending his lead onto the Quarterpipe once again. Landing decently, but not with that much speed. Getting the fourth gear quite late into this drift. Looking at the minimap, there's several arrows chasing him, several competitors who all want this 10-pointer into the last lap here. Glast only trailing by 0.2, and the others a pack at about 0.6 behind Bren right now, who's driving that same 1:23 pace. The last Quarterpipe setting up a little early, little awkward. Does he make it? Ooh. Just barely on the inside, Bren, and now storming towards the finish for another 10-pointer here with a lot of momentum. You can see the intensity on his face. These corners matter more than in any tournament he's played before, and he takes another 10 and takes a sigh of relief and a quick nod of approval. He's feeling it right now. 93 points for Bren, who's managed to get a little bit of a gap to Grady and Richie, and especially to fourth place here. Does not need to win this match, but getting top 4 is the goal, and he has a 20-point gap down to fourth place. So we have the fourth round of Wosal's choice, who sits in fifth place, 71 points. Let's see how it unfolds. Bren could cross the 100-point threshold here. Getting a quite good nosedive. Grady going too low, but Bren clips the corner on the side and will be slowed down too far, I believe, to catch up. Wosal also with a mistake. The pressure's on. And right now, Glust is handling it the best. Jumping too far on the right side, though. I'm going to hold my tongue, as it is now Binks up in first. And suddenly, Bren's early mistake is not that bad. He has actually passed another 2 players up into second, Bren. And with 1 more lap to go, Binks is not an impossible target either, but these Neo slides are so clean. And the spacing, using nearly all the track there, but still, somehow, despite driving these clean lines, Bren is closing the gap every checkpoint, a few hundredths at a time into the last Quarterpipe jump. Binks going quite high, and Bren looking for that low jump to make the gap almost nothing. 1 car length away now for Bren on the right side to get a better left side setup here to get more speed into this Neo slide, which he misses critically, allowing Binks to keep this first place, but he was feeling the heat, and Bren will still cross up to 101 points total. 1 missed Neo slide there, and if he had it, he probably had the racing line to beat Binks to the line. So we have now completed our 4 maps, but remember this. The top seeded players in this semifinal, players who won their qualifier to get here, all selected their maps in the later half. They wanted their map as the 5th, as the 6th, as the 7th. And these are now the favorites map choices that are going to come through. All except Bren. Bren's already played his map. Grady has his map as the 7th one. And I believe Binks has his map as the 6th one. Must be feeling comfortable. Oh, it's this map. It's this map. Talking about Quarterpipe jumps, this has one of the biggest ones in this tournament's history, and a really powerful bug slide. This has to have been picked by Richie, I imagine. Yeah, Richie's pick here. Had great performances on this in the qualifier. You want to get as many booster gates as you can in the start, and then this Quarterpipe jump. You actually do not want to go too low here. Bren has had to respawn already. It's a lot more about the landing and the speed you carry. Look at Grady's landing here, and how he can now use the speed down the slopes and now across the island hops, as I like to call them here. Starting with the jump into this downhill, followed by jump into this next downhill, lining that up perfectly. And with all the speed, you can now set up for a bog slide through the forest on the grass here. Gets the grip there, but he's matched by Gloss, who also catches a lot of boosters. But here, the smooth steering of the steering wheel comes into fruition. Grady onto the last jump here, with a lot of a lead. Heave going low though. What a last jump from Heave to nearly close the gap. 0.08 of a second behind Grady. 51 flat in the first round here. And the top 3 players are still scoring well here. But Richie, you picked it about middle of the field. Now for Wosal here, still want to finish, even if it's crawling into last place. You got to get this 1 pointer. Could make or break your journey here in Ascension. Let's take a look at the scoreboard now. Grady at 97, Bren at 105. We play till 120. That's the first benchmark for all the players to hit 120 and lock in finalists. Heave hitting the wall a bit, but it's not that bad as he quickly stabilizes the Quarterpipe jump. Oh, has to respawn, goes to the left too early. It's so far up this hill that you have to reach. And there's actually been a lot of respawns, but it's Richie up in first on his own map choice. Together with Bren, together with Grady, the leaders of this match right now, the favorites in the predictions. All across this platform, who's going to get the best bug slide? You want to land early with the back wheels on this downhill slope. Bren, very clean bug slide, catching these boosters, extending his lead to Wosal. Jumping a lot though, Wosal maybe with a better setup for this last Quarterpipe. Does he dare to go low? Grady's name tag is shown at the bottom. He might be sniping through, and he will. But it's Bren with the 10. It's Bren fending off Grady, saying this first place is mine right now. And Bren puts himself within just 5 points of finalist. Could hit it in this next round. Finalist does not mean getting to the final. Finalist means completing your journey to 120 points, where afterwards you must win 1 round. It's a little bit confusing, the terminology, but getting to finalist is only half the job done. Afterwards, you have to win a round. So Bren here, he only needs to score 5 points, at least, to make that happen. But he has made quite the mistake, and it's going to be hard to find 3 more positions to score 5 points. Ooh, especially with a landing like that. It's Glust up in first with Wosal. Into the bug slide. Grady's up there too. Grady could get just about equal to Bren in points right now with a clean ending. He's looking for it. Last jump low, Glust going high. Grady with another snipe. 50.7, a spectacular time here. And you can see now just how much that mistake from Bren cost him. 3 points, only getting to 118. Grady at 115 now. These two are battling back and forth. We have the 4th and final round on this. And not the best results from Richie yet, but he is in the top 4 with 1 more round to play on his own map. Bren going early, almost hitting the final sign, but that is a great start for Bren here. And though he doesn't need first place anymore, he could still deny the others a lot of points with a start like this Everything's gone right so far in this round. Trying to land this downhill. Does he get the next one? That looked awkward. He might bounce a bit. He might slow down a bit. Yeah, the others are way faster. Richie and Binks are going to come through here. Maybe in the bug slide, they might catch up all the way to Bren. Looking like they are a little bit behind, though, still trailing. Bren in this last part to get finalists, to get the first finalist spot. Does he go too low there? Does he go too low? Clips will be passed by Binks. Grenadi's finalist too. It's a double finalist. Richie at 97, Binks at 100. Here we go. Oh, okay. By name, I did not remember this map. But if you've seen this map once, you will definitely remember the ending of it. It has a very risky ending and also a risky jump in the start. It's Bobsleigh, and in this Bobsleigh, you can actually do an ice slide onto the wall here to get a 360 of sorts, and then landing in an ice slide towards the next wall. Glust, Richie, and Grady getting it the best. Bren is also in the mix there. And now straightening the car on the plastic. Grady very close to first place. Does go wide here around this jump, and now you have to line up on the right side of this Ascension logo. It's only a little bit of track that's available to you. All 4 players make it. Bren and Grady still both with a chance before the ending. You can jump very low and into this finish, and you have to risk it. Only first place is enough to claim your spot in the Ascension final. Onto the last jump, Glust, the only player between Bren and the final. Does he get the last downhill into the finish here correctly? Slows down. Bren misses it! It's Glust who snipes it away, who denies him. And a little bit of frustration from Bren there on the face cam. They will still keep scoring points, but they only need to win 1 round. That's how this format now works. 1 spot away there on the scoreboard, and Glust giving himself and the others in the field another chance here. A lot of players now approaching that 100-point mark. And if Bren and Grady cannot close this out, it's going to get really, really intense. You can see this 360 setup here again. Bren might have missed it a little bit, but the point is to get pushed towards the bobsleigh wall and then stabilize. And he actually has it almost perfectly here. A little bit awkward on the exit though. And now might have to go for the inside line. Does opt to do that. But Glust, Heave, and Binks all have more speed, and they're going to extend up ahead. Not at all easy to win from this position, but that ending, anything can still happen. You have to slow down perfectly in that uphill ramp and get barely threading the needle into the finish directly. We've lost 1 player. It's only 2 players ahead of him now. Has to hesitate a bit on the drift. Going wide, hitting the wall, trying to save it, I think. A different setup. Glust versus Binks. Glust again, I believe, with a perfect finish. And though Glust didn't pick this map, he is looking very relieved right now. Look at the intensity. Oh my god. He is really feeling under pressure right now. But driving so well at the same time. That's the thing about these tournaments. It brings out the best in the players. They've never had so much at stake. And we're witnessing some of the best Trackmania that we've had in a tournament so far. Glust once again. Clean landing. Up near first. Bren is there as well. Grady is there as well. Heave off to the side. 1 player lost in the fight. And now Grady versus Glust up first. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is it going to go the way everyone predicted? Grady with a 10th of a lead. Make that 2/10. A lot of speed. Flicking the steering wheel onto the right side here to get that drift set up into the last corner now. It's all in Grady's own hands. Glust has had 2 fantastic endings. Can he get a 3rd? Backflip for Grady, slowing down. Trying to get the finish! Bren! Bren takes it away, the first spot in the finals. The home crowd favorite gets his chances sniped away in the first round of this map, but he claims it now. To everyone's standing ovation here in the stadium, in the Stade de France arena. And the For the others, it is back to the drawing board. The rounds continue. The last round of Binks' map choice. Want to make you pay attention to this. Richie has hit 118 points. He's 2 points away from finalist mode. Grady's still in finalist mode with 1 round to go before his own map, and this is not going to be a good landing. Grady is going to have to wait for his own map to have a chance of closing out. Richie could hit finalist. Gloss could hit finalist. Binks could also hit finalist here. We could have 4 more finalists going into the next map. If the positions remain as they are right now and Gloss scores well, we could have a quadruple finalist mode. Binks right now, high intensity. This is the map he chose all the way back as the second map chosen in this match. Hoping that it would pay dividends in this moment right here versus Richie. He needs the 10. He needs the 10-pointer. Binks gets it. That's 1 finalist. Where's Richie? Gloss, 2 finalists. We have 2 finalists going into this. Oh, 3 rather, with Grady as well. No, we have 4. We have 4. I don't know if the crowd is aware yet. It's a quadruple finalist mode. It could all be over in 3 rounds here. If you do not get first and the others do. 3 rounds and you're out of the tournament. And your chances at the biggest prize pool in this game's history is out. This map notably has a very difficult last quarterpipe jump. So nothing is decided until that very last jump, but it's quadruple finalist. Heave 10 points away. Oh, Binks making a mistake. The first finalist to make a mistake here, I believe. Wosal and Grady still up there. Richie as well. Oh, not Wosal. Glossar is the finalist. Wosal not yet hit finalist mode. Wosal challenging Grady right now. Missing that though. Grady up in first right now. By quite a lot as well, I believe. He only has that quarterpipe jump now left to contend with. And this is a really difficult one to hit. You have to jump all the way from here into the sky and line up in between the cogs of this ring. Does he get it? Grady is going to lock his spot in the finals, and relief on the face cam for him as well. Standing ovation from the crowd as well. He can breathe easily knowing he's going to have a chance later on. The 2 favorites for most predictors going in have made it. And now there's still 2 spots remaining in the finals. Will it be Gloss? Will it be Richie? Will it be Binks? Or maybe Heave, Wosal, Nime? They all have a chance. It's not over yet. Heave picked the 8th map. If he can somehow extend this 3 more rounds, he could have a chance to close it out on his own map choice. That's the last map in the pack. Oh, good start for him though. And good start for Wosal. 2 of the non-finalists. If you want this match to go on, these are the players that you need to see in first and second to deny the other finalists from locking in their spots. Wosal missed this next transition here in the previous round, but now it's good. He gets through cleanly. And he again, oh, okay, a little bit shaky. Only has that quarterpipe jump left to go. Through the cycle, barely makes the left side. Now the jump up into the sky, and you have to release right about now. Does he make it? That looks beautiful. Wosal. 114 points for him. Extending the match, postponing the inevitable. He needs to win 2 more in a row to get there himself, and he can totally do that. Mime as well scoring really well here. It's not over yet. It is not over yet. It's anything but over. And if you are one of these finalists who got there quite early, like Gloss, Richie, and Binks right now, and you're sitting playing round after round, you're not closing in your spot, and the others are getting just 4 and 5 points away from finalists, you have to be feeling the pressure. You have to be feeling like it's slipping, like it's running away from you. Richie just missed the first jump, has to wait out an entire round now and hope that no spots get claimed. Wosal still in first, up through the checkpoint though, a mistake there, and a little bit of a grimace on the face cam. The last Heave. First and second. Heave missing the transition a little bit. Glust with a golden opportunity right now to go into the finals. He will not know it on the checkpoint splits yet, and maybe that is for the better, because if he knew, he could probably hardly aim this jump. Going for it. Will Glust make it? He saw himself as an underdog. He didn't think he had a chance. He lines it up. The jump is clean. Glust to the finals. He did not think he had a lot of a chance. He was here for the fun. He started playing in 2016 after watching Serrator Cups and dreamt of playing on stage himself. And now he's in the grand finals. So much fun for Glust there to get that spot. And very unfortunate for Heave to not score here. Could have gotten very close to finalist. So we will play one more round here. What Heave and Mime needs is either one of them to win this round. Heave, probably the best chance he stands is his own map choice. One round away from that. Richie, Binks, and Wosal are all going to try to close out now. Binks with a small mistake though, losing about 0.4. Wosal up in first. Also did not see him as a likely candidate to qualify to the grand final. Missed this transition last time. Gets a good jump here. Has to get all the way up on the right side now. Onto the ice. Setting up the Quarterpipe jump. How much is the split going to be? Mime is only 0.3 away on that previous checkpoint. Does he have the speed? Richie has a lot of speed, but Richie gets clipped by the cogwheel. Wosal with a chance, a golden ticket to the finals. If you release correctly, Mime is there. Mime is there. Mime snipes, maybe. Mime takes it away. And Mime can hardly believe what he did, but he postpones the match. Does Heave get finalist? Does Heave gets finalist as well? It is 5 finalists going on to Heave's map. And Wosal cannot believe it. Wosal cannot believe it. He's kicking himself right now, knowing he had the chance right there. Oh, heartbreak for Wosal. Drove such a clean run as well. This is where it will be over though. For 4 of these players, one lucky person can claim their spot here. And the thing about this map is it has a very distinct ending where you do an ice 360 in between some trees and some snow. And Heave just happens to be very good at this. Richie as well, to be fair, the ice players. But there's a lot of other mechanics at play as well early on into the map. But it might be decided right here in this cinematic where you see it. And this is the final uphill to the Ascension. And indeed to the finals. 50-second map. Here we go. One round to decide it all. Perhaps Mime could still deny. Oh, okay. No mistakes yet. Small bug slide on the grass there. Mime is last though. Richie with a small mistake there on the penalty grass. Binks getting the best of it. Wosal still there. Still with a hope and a dream. Onto the ice uphill now. It's only really that 360 left to go. He's getting closer and closer to Binks. The 360 will happen after this ice slide here. You have to flick 360 between this gap of trees, and Wosal clips and crashes, and it's Binks who's likely to take it here. Has to straighten and then get up to the finish, and Binks will be the 4th and final qualifying player to the Ascension Grand Final from the first semi-final. Absolutely insane. Almost punches Glust there by accident, I believe, in his celebration. What an opening match of this tournament. And the second semi-final is just as anticipated, with some of the favorites like Carl Jr., like Gwen, to win the tournament as a whole. A lot of people might be surprised, like, why is Carl Jr., this GOAT everyone talks about, why is he 6th seed? The reason is that he had food poisoning when he qualified for Ascension. And so, in the first one he had food poisoning and couldn't quite play that well. In the second one, where he tried, he did pull through, but he also then did not go very far in the knockout format. So, despite those 2 things happening, he still made it here to the finals. I talked to him, he arrived a couple of days ago, said he was feeling great, but he named 2 names. And I'm going to tell you which 2 names this is that he was scared of. Gwen and Arthanir. He said these were the 2 players that's going to give him the toughest challenge. He said also maybe Otak. These are the players to take a look at, and we're starting on a terribly difficult map. And I again missed how they said it. The dirt pipe map is going to be my best guess. This is just straight up a trial map where you drive on pipes, try to carry high speed, and we are off to the races in the second semifinal. Get some hype in the chat as the crowd now warms up to another spectacle. The first semifinal was a blast. And let's hope this one delivers as well for the biggest Trackmania prize pool tournament that we've ever had. See the players here, a little bit shaky, one respawn there. And that's a 22-second time loss for that player. Not going to have much of an impact in this first round. But Gwen on his own map choice here, across the first couple of pipes, gets a better start than everyone else except Carl. But Carl missing that transition a bit, meaning Gwen will be running away into first place. Does he make the jump through the Ascension logo? Does as well. And these are the two players that Carl called out. Gwen and Arthur up in first and second. Onto the last pipe now. A little bit shaky for Gwen, who might miss this last jump, and he does indeed. But Arthur will be able to pick up this first 10-pointer. And there's Otak to claim 8. And Carl Jr. getting 6 as well, as the overlay is not quite updating yet. Let's hope it saved the scores. So we're now just waiting for them to roll in. Let's see if this did indeed come through, but the checkpoint splits are not. So that's going to be something we'll deal with. At least it's recording the results correctly. And I will simply tell you who is in first and who is in last. Carl Jr. with the best start. You can skip across here, jumping onto that other curve if you want, but it's very risky. Coco with a respawn. Otak and Carl into this checkpoint leading the field, but now going so slow, and you kind of have to, unless your name is Gwen and you feel like risking it all. But the risk does not really pay off, as Carl and Otak both beat him in that segment overall. Now only a few hundreds apart here. Carl going too wide on the pipe there, though not getting the downhill to keep his car stable, and Gwen going from third to first through the last couple of checkpoints here, carrying the speed. Is going to go for the risky jump. Oh, no way! Gwen is a menace. I cannot put into words how difficult that pipe jump is. Usually people just go straight and then clip the edge, but he lines up slightly left to land, carrying full speed on the left pipe. This is a skip you can do. It's just so risky. He just beat a lot of players here personal bests in the match. And I think it might even be world record. I think this might have broken the world record on the map. And this is just the pace that I'm talking about for Gwen. And the reason people are scared is he's just unmatched in terms of pace. Did not catch what the world record was going in, but that is a monster time. How does he do this? It's the biggest tournament okay, so you see he is sometimes risking a lot and sometimes paying the price for it, but how do you go into a tournament, and it's the biggest Trackmania tournament of all time, in the second round you drop a world record on a map that everyone else has grinded? Like, it's just mesmerizing. And he's probably going to come back through here. Yeah, he crashed. I want you to know, we are witnessing Gwen with a crash right now, dominantly up in first place. Like, it's mind-numbing. It's mind-boggling how he does this. He makes it look so effortless, but it doesn't come from nowhere. Let's first see if he can get this last jump. Lining up wide, just smoothly into that curve, and now carrying the speed onto the pipe. Not going to go for the super risky one, but going out on the right. He did respawn, and Massa is there to pick up the 10-pointer as Gwen disappears from view, but he will be coming through in 7th. I was going to say, if you're wondering how this comes to be, Gwen started playing Trackmania at 4 years old. His dad showed him the game, and there's a video of him playing at 4 years old. He's now 19 or 20 roundabouts, but at 4 years old, he was doing things like slide canceling, like air brakes, like racing lines at 4 years old. Like, these are ingrained into his brain. The same way, you know, a chess grandmaster prodigy kid just has such a different understanding of the game. And it's a treat to watch anytime he plays. And compared to the practice numbers that we heard from some of the other players, Gwen, when I asked him, said he had about 1 to 2 hours of practice on every map. And if you compare that to the 45 hours that we heard from another map and whatnot, it's even more spectacular. So yeah, not to hype him up too much here, but to give you guys context, it is spectacular. Arthur again with a good run through here. Glenn, though, is he going to look for the super risky jump? Onto the pipe, missing the jump onto it. Has to release here to catch it. Arthur landing and might be keeping it in first place. Another 10 points for him. And now the checkpoint splits are working. Coco, followed by Otak, Gwen, Charlik, Afi, Masa, and Carl. So not the best first map for Gwen. Could have probably opted to score more than 19 points on his own map choice, but I think that one run sends some warning signs to the others of what's to come. Ugo du Jour, copying Serrator's pronunciation here. Ugo du Jour is the second map. Both Grenadi and Masa picked this, so it's clear they've practiced it a lot and probably have some strategy that they're going for to make this map worthwhile for them. Both of them playing it when they're practicing together is not a coincidence, I don't think. So all eyes on Masa here to see if he can make it work. Ooh. Arthur and Coco risking those edges so precisely onto the pipes now. You can see how he's even jumping across some corners here and landing on the inside to keep stable. Here you want a tilt nosedive onto the platform, but he misses it. And it's Coco in first. Does he have the pace for the fast cycle? In between the cogs. Has to go on the right side. That's a little slower. But the last jump decides. Through the ring, in between these bolts is where you need to aim. Slowing down enough. He has the lead. He's going to take this first round. Coco, 10 points ahead of Gwen and Carl Jr. And that is quite the field to beat if you're Coco. Also climbing back on the scoreboard a bit. He was in 6th, and Carl right now actually near the bottom as the players are struggling to even finish here. Need to perfectly release to get in between, and a little touch like that is going to send you off the ring. Charlik getting 0 points. Otak might get 0 points as well. So 2 players getting 0 points. And that goes to show how hard the map pack really is. So nothing's over yet here until that last jump. It requires very precise aim. Last round was Coco. Great start, great execution, and great last jump. And he's doing it again. One Neo slide followed by a full send to the right. Now we're seeing Gwen and Carl building a lot of pace across these pipes. 2/10 on everyone else. Gwen going out to the right side though. Masa clipping. And Gwen has the speed advantage. He's going to probably be able to go to the left side here of this spinning cogwheel. Through here, getting a better setup for the boosters. And now he can aim all the way to the right. Release appropriately, and it might make it. Oh, that's pretty wide, but it will work out for Gwen here. Oh, Carl! Carl with the snipe. Raining down from above, Carl Jr. taking the round, and 10 points himself. It is an ongoing conversation every time there's a tournament between these two. Who is going to win, Gwen or Carl? Gwen or Carl? That round was decided by just 1/10 of a second, and look at the spacing. You can really get an appreciation for it in this internal camera point of view. Just how refined every move is. One slight movement out of place and you will crash. You will clip the corners. Well, I think Gwen even had a crash here. Masa with a dominant lead. Is he going to be in time for this? He is, I believe, just barely, but he opts for right side and it's awkward and he might get caught up to now. On to the last jump. Arthur is close and they're going for the low jump. Carl and Arthur are both going for a very low jump through this, but Masa has that perfect angle. Oh, he doesn't! Oh, it's by a hair. and Arthur snipes it away. Arthur is right now on the scoreboard, getting up to a big lead. A player that I don't think a lot of people had on paper as one of the favorites, but look at this performance so far. 49 points now. Carl Jr. on 38, Gwen on 38. But so far, I think he's really impressed a lot of people. We have the last round of a Go du Jour. Oh, Massa with the worst start. Onto the pipes. Glenn again up first. Clean lines. Drop down. Glenn always going right side here. Massa crashing. Not getting the last chance to score points on his own map here. And has to play on other people's choices. Gwen risking that left side once again. And this is a fast run. If Gwen hits this last jump, it could beat the 50.4 world record on the map from Grady. It's very close. This might be... Oh, 50.7. It is still such a spectacular time. Another 10 points for Gwen. And Arthur here scoring 5th, scoring decently, but will maintain his first place in the match. So Gwen there, only 3/10 off the world record. Protag getting points. Locked in and Massa as well, getting 1 point. Okay, I'm with it. This is Serrator's night. He's put this tournament together for the past 10 years. Started in his own streaming room and eventually made it to the stages in 2016, his first on-stage performance, and now everyone's turning on their flashlights. Okay, this is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Ah, c'est super! Bravo à tous! On peut partir en game! Ils étaient pas partis, vous avez rien loupé!
Enjoy his night. He's put so much effort into this for a love and a passion of the game and for making content and hosting big events. And you might not have heard of him if you're in the international Twitch scene, but yeah. And really just carrying the torch for Twitch France. Here we go. Red Conseil. This is a map with a couple of very tough speed checks picked by Coco. One of them is coming up right after this left-hander, where the players need to hit a really precise drift to the right and 160 speed through the checkpoint. Gwen might have it. Coco definitely has it, I think. No, Gwen has to release. Oh, Coco even clipping. Only Arthur, Carl, and one more player. Alfie made it. There's a fast cycle if you get all the way across. So big opportunity for Alfie now, who's gone a bit under the radar, but he is currently 4th in the match, scoring decently every single time. Just no first places yet, but what about this? What about this last turn? No slide past the flags, and he makes it in just ahead of Arthur, who again scored decently here. 61 points for Arthur already. Halfway to the 120 points he needs. But I don't know here. If Glenn hits that big jump, suddenly I think you'll see him jump up into 1st. Same goes for Carl with a bit better of a jump. It's all in that middle part here. Once more. Starting turns here, not too important. It's mostly in this fast cycle on the next jump. Getting the neo slide to the left, you can get a better drift setup to the right, so you can carry full speed left, push it. Gwen missing, having to respawn. Is Coco fast enough? He might barely be. Woo! Lands that jump together with a few others, low through the Quarterpipe. Now you can see why he picked this. Feeling very comfortable here, Coco. Ooh. Not leaving a lot of space on the edge there. Drifting through, trying to land with a tilt. You can drift into this corner out of the wobble, around the flag, now the no slide on the dirt. Carl is there, Offie's there, but Coco fends them off. 10 more points to him. Climbing up the scoreboard from that 7th place. Passing Otak, also going to pass Masa and get very close to Offie and Gwen on the scoreboard as well. Still, Arthur has a strong lead here in first, 66. He has a 20-point gap down to 5th, staying in the top 4. Ooh, Coco now making a mistake in the start. A little bit of a frown to the camera. What can Carl do here? Setting it up, trying in camera 3, going for it. A big drift miss, getting the laughs from the casters. Carl does not have a fast cycle, instantly recognizes it. Offie, Masa, and Chalik do. Coco does on a late cycle as well. Offie trying to get a second 10-pointer here on this map. Through the triangle. Air brake to get this drift set up. Masa not opting to air brake, maybe cutting across a little later for more speed. Offie clipped, and Masa will take that 10-pointer away and get on the board himself. That's why he goes for that wide line, but Offie's inside line could be better. I think he actually crashed a flagpole, costing him valuable time. An Otak here. He's going to safely finish and get a point. Better than not completing at all. Finds himself at 43. Slowly but surely, though, Offie and Carl bridging the gap a little bit. Coco, actually also the world record holder on this map. Spotted on the scoreboard, 53.46. But I want to see Gwen get this drift set up right. The 4th and final round. Will he have one fast cycle? Goes too fast once again. And, you know, here's where the consistent playstyle really pays off. That jump is hard to get consistently, but Gwen finds himself pushing too much, and his early dominance is not so clear on the scoreboard anymore. Offie now passing Masa, one car length ahead. Gets a little bit of a wobble, but less air time. Jumping through the triangle with a lot of speed. Bad drift setup here, though, and will get passed by Arthur here. This is going to be close. 3 players in the mix. Onto those last no slides. Offie no sliding early, but Arthur near clean angle. And 10 more points. 69 to 79 here. It's honestly insane how well he's doing. He must be feeling the pressure for the second half of the match. Let's get into it. Pizza map. This map is the final map that Serrator built this cup. He built 2 map packs, and then he decided to add 1 more map for the finals. So there is not a lot of knowledge about pace on this map, but you have images of pizzas. Starting out here, it's a bit of a longer map with a big quarterpipe jump down to the landing zone. Everyone will be getting that. Now the bug slide. Around this corner, quite sharp. 360 into another bug slide to the right, and Chalik looks to have a good angle, as well as Arthur. Again, Arthur up near the first place. Arthur respawning, though, instantly. Not seeing the angle, not finding it. Offie with the speed slides down the hill, keeping his lead away from Chalik. Chalik pushing this corner, going for a shortcut. Different shortcuts here. Chalik might have a strategy here that not a lot of others do, at least not Offie, but Offie does have more speed. Flip up to this bridge, landing on the right side. Offie is sniping through with so much speed and daring to push these corners. Charlie clipping a bit. Offie now up to about a second of a lead, and Masa finding himself ahead of Charlie before the ending. Onto the pipe. Not too fast now. Don't want to fail here. Slow and steady, and one flip into the finish ring. Offie, 10 points. In the first round of pizza map. And maybe that shortcut miss was deliberate here from Offie. Thinking, you know what, that's a bit risky. I'm keeping more speed for the next flip. Otak, 15 seconds, should still be able to finish. Coco as well. Also, healthy signs from Arthur on this map. Good pace early. Missing a little bit, and very important 8 points for Massa, who was near the bottom a couple of rounds ago, found himself in 7th, now up in 4th. And only 7 points from 3rd. 82 points now for Arthur. 120 is the limit. That's what we're playing for. Got to reach 120 points and then win 1 round after that to secure your spot in the grand final. Wide setup for Uffy, but does get this. Arthur too much on the inside. Does not make it. Gwen has a good line. Chalk again with a good line. The flip up to this dirt ledge. Good for all top 3. And now, from Uffy's point of view, without this shortcut bounce, just going for the drifts. It's not that much slower because he still has more exit speed for this upcoming flip. This is where he gains some time back. But again, it is Glenn that we're seeing up first. He's found the flow of this. He is 1.4 seconds ahead before the ending. Zooming across, skipping corners onto the inside of the pipe. Both turns, pursed lips as he flies into the finish with a 106.2. And that is a world record as far as we know. With no publicly posted times, that's a new world record by Gwen. Although it could be broken again in this match. Drove 0.7 faster than what Uffy did in the previous round. And he hadn't scored good points in a while. Those 10 matter a lot here for Gwen, one of the favorites to win the tournament. Uffy scoring good as well, and Carl as well. Uffy now up in the lead of the match. Now the Quarterpipe jump. You'll see a lot of Trackmania players, whenever they go into a turn, they tilt their head left and right slightly, feeling the turns with every part of their body. The movements they have to make. Oh, what a beauty from Gwen, releasing as well to get this downhill. And now a nod of relief. He's going to have a massive lead after this. That is probably 1 second faster than anyone else could have had. And now a nice nosedive across the grass platform too. Arthur is close, but look at the lines from Gwen. Extending further ahead, it's now up to 1 full second. And a lower flip than Arthur. Arthur has to release, Arthur off the edge, and Massa reclaims 2nd place, but Gwen, this pace is even faster. He's 2 seconds ahead. This is so much faster. What's this final time gonna be? A 105.2. A 105.2. And yeah, you're getting the NTs in chat. Nice time. That probably, very probably beats the personal best of some of the others. What an insane start from Gwen. And now he has momentum. That is one of the scariest combinations in this game. Is good pace with good momentum and good confidence. If he's feeling insecure about making the turns, he might crash, but right now, he is feeling really good about his chances. Has to go for a safer approach there though, and Arthur will have first before the dirt flip, but very low from Arthur. Oh, what a pristine landing. Gets to the very top of the hill and can speed slide all the way down to get himself a half a second lead. But half a second against Gwen is not that much, especially before he's going to risk the ending here. Arthur probably just looking to score solid, but can Gwen find any time gains here? Carl and Uffy are also in the mix, just waiting for a mistake. Gwen setting up the drift early, looking for more speed than Arthur, skipping across the corner a little bit better. Up in first onto the pipe turn and setting that with so much more speed. And the overtake is successful. Gwen snipes away the round, and Carl even takes 2nd place that round. Gwen found about 1.3 seconds against Arthur in the last half of the map. And it is a map with a lot of off-road parts, but especially this ending that you're going to see in the cinematic. This ice slide into a skip across the snow is the decisive part. And then the climb up to the Ascension logo. Uffy still in the lead at 95 points. Carl at 92, Arthur at 91, and Gwen at 90. Before there is a huge gap on the scoreboard down to Massa with 73. These 4 players have been performing so spectacularly well. Now they're only lacking about 20 to 25 points to reach finalist status. Ooh, Carl a bit wide here. That did not look optimal, and he's not happy with that. Low speed up the hill, shaking his head. Now the skip in between the trees. Otak getting that perfectly, but Gwen has more speed. And Gwen into the ice slide, might just snipe this away. Slowing down to get the uphill. Is it gonna be Gwen? Yes, it will, with another 10 points. I think that's his 3rd in a row. 30 out of 30 in the last couple of rounds, and he will, with that, be just 1 point away from claiming first in the match. And what a round as well. Carl, with that one mistake, is gonna be down in last place. Also, Gwen, was that another world? He's just beating another world record. It's like not even fair. They're so used to it at this point. They're not even running nice time. They know. It's like, okay, Gwen, we get it. Chill, relax. 47.05, another world record from Gwen, and Otak getting 2nd place, basically matching the world record times. That's just unheard of. Oh, but Gwen has a mistake here, and Afi has so much speed into the uphill. Great opportunity for him to defend his claim on 1st place so far. Ice 360 timing is there, but here comes Carl Jr. through with more speed. You have to slow down for this uphill and get the last little bit of speed to the finish, and I think Afi might snipe this away. Afi! Carl takes it by 4 thousandths of a second. Such a close race there. But Carl Jr. comes back from his mistake. The GOAT is not going down without a little bit of a fight. Afi at 109, Carl 103 now. Gwen 102 and Arthur 94. Still the gap remains to those bottom 4 players right now. Masa, Coco, Otak, and Chal kind of desperate for something to come back into this match because the other 4 have been playing so exceptionally well. And once again, a fast start here from Gwen. Already has somehow gained 2 tenths to Afi. Out of those starting turns, can he get the mountain jump right? This time it looks better, a little bit out on the right side. Might have to adjust and correct. But such a close battle before this one ice spin to decide it. Who gets it best through the trees? It is, of course, Gwen going through clean, but Carl is there. He hits a bump a little bit, and that actually might have not even lost him time, but a spectacular run from Gwen, and it's another world record, 46.91. On Carl Jr.'s map choice, he's beating him by 0.2. Take a bow. Take a bow, everyone. Just, this is our fastest player we've ever seen on a stage. He might not be the best, most consistent player, but undoubtedly the fastest. I asked a lot of players coming into this tournament, which tournament would you rather win, World Cup or Ascension? Many players said the World Cup for the prestige, but Gwen said this one. Gwen said this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for him. This is the tournament he wants to win. And he has to lead into this round once again. 112 points, could hit finalist if he gets this 360 right. Through the trees, he hits a little bit and Otak passes him, but he only needs to score 8 points, and he will be in time for that, but he might even get the 10 as he challenges Otak for this first place, and he will get another! Little bit of a smile, it's still enough for finalists. But of all places to crash, he crashes to the finish. What map we're gonna have? Essential. This is picked by Afi. I don't remember Afi's point total, but he is very close to finalist. And Afi's map is gonna come through just at the right time. Had 2nd seed and chose this as the 6th map in the series. Afi's also finalist. It's a double finalist situation between Gwen and Afi. 2 previous teammates in past Raider Cups. Afi with the best start. Oh, does Afi make the jump here? Oh, just on the left side. Into that Quarterpipe. Trailing Carl Jr. by a little bit. There's been 2 mistakes. Arthur and Coco are out of the running. Gwen It's actually only 4 players in this race. It's Otak, Offie, Carl, and Gwen. 2 of them are finalists. Carl for the mistake. Otak versus the 2 finalists now. We might have someone going into the grand final after these bug slides are said and done. Otak, can he deny Offie here on the line? More speed, but he needs a really low quarterpipe jump. Setting up slightly more on the left, needs to go all the way in and risk everything he can. He misses, and Offie goes to the grand final of Ascension. Not the name that a lot of people had predicted as the first person to qualify, but such a consistent performance from Offie. Went a bit under the radar in the start, but then he started scoring 10s. And while Gwen had his pace, Offie shows here, it's not everything you need. You also need to score a lot of points every single round and then clutch your first finals attempt here. Offie's in the finals. Carl hit finalist. And Otak is closing the gap to Arthur. That's going to be a fight to take a look at for that 4th position, but for now, Carl versus Gwen for finalists. They both need to win 1 round to secure their spot. And they're both top 2, but Gwen has so much more speed into the downhill, and this is going to extend all the way to the island hops if Gwen plays this right. Carl had a really good downhill landing there though, but still in favor of Gwen. As the jumps come through, Carl jumps way too far and loses a lot of speed. Gwen extends here up to about 3/10 of a lead before the bug slide, but also enters that with more speed, and now it's about half a second. Gwen, 1 jump away from joining Offie in the grand finals of the biggest tournament in this game's history, and with a jump, a safe one at that, he will make it. And a fist bump and a sigh of relief. Gwen and Offie are in the finals of Ascension. Serious faces now from the rest. Also a scary fast time there. 50.4 is really good. I don't think it's quite the world record, but it is close. Now, what a start from Carl. Gwen has the world record of 49.95. Ooh, Massa hit the front a little bit. Coco as well, I think. High jump, but Carl, clear lead, 0.3 of a second. Controlled pace right now, 0.4, just needs to not get a bad downhill here. He bounces, and Otak will pass him. Does not get the right angle there, Carl. It's still not over yet. Things could happen, but Otak has a golden opportunity here. Could score 10, could outrun Arthur to the 120 mark, and maybe have 1 finalist attempt before Arthur gets there as well. Massa with a good last jump too, but Otak takes this round. 114 for him. Where does Arthur place Arthur last here? And Arthur is going to end up at around 110, I believe, 113, 111 if he gets the last jump here. Very close now. The top 4 do advance. 111 for Arthur, 114 for Otak. Still nothing's over yet. Carl with another chance at finalist. Up to the left. Does he have the angle? Jumps very far here, Carl. Has to go very high up to get the landing right, and that costs time. Arthur and Chalik have 0.3 of a gap now. But now Carl has nothing to lose. Now he can afford to push. I think this scenario suits him better. He was feeling the nerves in the other one, but now he's on the hunt. And he only has 2 targets left to catch into the bug slide with a sharper angle. There goes 1. Less speed than Chalik, but can he find it in the last quarterpipe jump? Chalik here, who was first seed, who won the first qualifier when Carl had food poisoning. Now Carl wants to say, he wants to show what he can do. Last jump, but Chalik holds the fort. 0.7 of a second. And Chalik from last place, from the depths of defeat, shows he still has something to play for. The next map is picked by Chalik. Glasticut is perhaps the decider map in this match. A very obstacle-heavy map with a lot of bobsleigh elements and a blind jump to the finish, where you just need a really good feeling for where it's at. Very precise plastic parts as well. Starting with 2, 3, and 4 neo slides, and then across this bridge. And if you have enough speed, you can jump into the tunnel here directly. Carl cannot, has to slow down a little bit. Charlie upside down. He is out on his own map choice. Arthur with an exceptional start here, and the only player ahead of Carl onto the plastic. Now a very sharp corner, maneuvering past these edges and into the bobsleigh. There is a gap in this next bobsleigh part. You need to jump across and then go very high up on the wall and stay high up and wait for the exit, then dive down and carry the speed. And Carl Jr. has outmaneuvered Arthur on this part. The last jump, Carl, he could go into the grand finals together with Uffy and Gwen, and he is in! The king of Trackmania is going all the distance to defend his title in the grand final. But Uffy and Gwen did beat him in the semi. And that is a confidence boost going into the grand final. One spot remains. Otak and Arthur both hit finalists after that round. Otak missing the drift here in the start though a little bit, but gets the setup for that last neo. Not a lot of speed for this, but might still make it into the tunnel directly. Catches the bug slide. Chalik has gotten a good start now, but so has Arthur. They're all in the mix. Otak's disappeared a bit from the frame. He's lost a second. Arthur's up in first. Next to Musa. Musa only 11 points from finalist. Could deny Arthur. Jumping across, just about equal. They're one car right now in tandem. Arthur missed here last time. This time, very low speed, slides out a little bit for the pressure, but Musa has crashed. Where is Chong? Where's Otak? Otak crashes and Arthur in the finals! Securing the last spot. There's no way it comes down to a round like that, a scrap battle. Otak can't believe he missed it. Musa can't believe he missed it. Arthur can't believe he hit it and secured the final spot. But that is your lineup. Carl Jr., Uffy, Gwen, and Arthur will join Grady, Glust, Binks, and Bren in the finals. That is our lineup. The top 8 and Otak. Oh, it's heartbreaks. It is so close. It is one jump away. So much practice goes into that, and then one final jump where he could have had it. This now means we have our grand final. This is the biggest Trackmania tournament of all time. $94,000 prize pool to the top 3 players. In this grand final, there's still going to be 5 players that go home with nothing extra, except the biggest match that they've ever played. First place gets $66,000. Second place gets $18,000. Third place gets $9,000. Deep breaths, everybody. Still time to tell your friends this is happening. If they've never watched a Trackmania match before, this could be their first. Trial logo is going to be the first map. Let me run you through the format and the players that we have in the final before it begins. This is a long map, so give us a little bit of time. This is the finals of Ascension, the biggest prize pool tournament that we've ever had. The players are on the server, and they're already starting the first round on the map picked by Gwen. Gwen picked this because it is the hardest map, and he wants to throw the others off with a lot of difficulty. There's so many strats here. Arthur going for a safe early landing. Some players skipping across further, but Gwen there, up ahead, just respawned. He made a mistake and had to go back to the start. Checkpoint is here, and 4 players will be getting it. Glust, Renati, Uffy, and Carl. And then how about the other players in the final as well? Bren, Binks, Gwen, and Arthur are also there. Now they go down onto a railing, drop onto a 3rd railing. And the entire point here is for this to be very, very difficult. It is not built to be very smooth. It's simply built to make the world's best Trackmania players have some obstacles to contend with. But in this first round, it is Uffy and Glust with the best starts, both getting the shortcut across this Ascension logo. They're driving on the N right now, going to the S. And now you gotta slide across and go all the way on this outside pipe around the logo before they're heading for a big Quarterpipe jump. But real quick, The format in the finals is the following. You score points based on your positions. If you get first, you get 10 points. Second, 8. Third, you get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and so forth, and so on. You need to score 120 points to win the finals. And then, when you hit 120 points, you have to win one more round to actually seal the deal. Doing that will net you $66,000 and Offie. That just means that jumps like this matters all the more than before. Will Carl make it? He's very slow with a backflip. Whew. Just barely he makes it. Grady winning this first round though, ahead of Glust and Carl Jr. And usually in finalist mode, after the first player wins, they will play for second place, play for third place. This time, when the first player gets to 120 and wins this round, the match ends at that point. And the points are counted. Whoever is second will get $18,000. Whoever's third get $9,000. I hope this all makes sense. But surprisingly, it is Glenn who picked this map first pick, who is last in this first round, and he might not make it. Oh! 0 points for Glenn in this first round. But still plenty of chances. They play 4 rounds per map. Now let's see what Glenn can cook up here in the kitchen in the second one. It looks like there's just one card on the track, but that is because everyone presses forward here in the beginning. So it gives them this landing, and now they're on their own. Now they have to drive cleanly and avoid mistakes. Into the checkpoint, all 8 have survived so far. There is a bug slide you could do here. Glenn, whoa, trying it. One of the only people going for it. This bug slide landing on the logo. Saves only a second. But already, this is the exact type of start to this match that Glenn would not want. Getting thrown off a little bit, picking his map, and then not finding the flow. Surprisingly though, he's still within contention. He's not far enough behind that the others can be safe at all. He's climbed his way back up to second place despite respawning. And Bren missing this pipe entry. Very unfortunate. Gwen now is contesting off for first place, already catching all the way back up. Trailing a little bit as they go into the pipe here. Oh, hits the pillar. Glust passing him. Onto the pipe. Small bug slide to set him up. Still chances in the ending here. All 4 entering the double rail right about the same time. Now you want to get onto the pipe and then hold 2 wheels on. Build speed for the Quarterpipe jump, and he needs to go very far to the left. Offie has it. I think Glust has it as well. If you release this jump, you're not going to make the shortcut to the finish. Glust going very far. Offie looks like he has it clean. Glenn looks like he has it clean too in second place. Oh, Offie clipped. Glenn is going to win the round. And Glust in second. Very impressive. Offie not having to respawn there though. Does turtle to the finish, I believe. So Offie not opting for enough speed to make the jump, but wow. What a start to this match for Glenn. It's very up and down despite respawning. He finds the 10-pointer and a good time as well, despite the mistake. Carl Jr. consistently up there with 2 third places in a row, 12 points for him. But it's actually Grady with 13 in second, and Glust in first with 2 second places. Who's now going to be first with 16 points, sorry. There we have it. Updated scoreboard, and a bit of a rough start for Binks and Arthur, but this is a map that a lot of players would opt to ban if they could, and they did in the semis, but here now, they cannot ban it, and they have to face Glenn on it as he wanted to play it. Let's see if Glenn, oh, he's actually respawned once more before this first checkpoint, and that is a respawn he can't really get away with. That is a big time loss. Offie and Grady have also suffered similar time losses in the beginning here, not hitting that first checkpoint yet. Several seconds behind. Binks into the wall, having to back up and then go onto the rail. Quite familiar with it. This is a mistake you see sometimes. Most important thing is that you make steady progress on this map. That you don't get stuck. Oh, almost get stuck in the ring there. Who is even first? It's Carl Jr. or was. Now it's Bren versus Glust. And Glust has actually found really consistent pace on this. It's the third time he's up there in the mix for first place. But Bren is not going to fall off the pipe. Again, I don't think. The first one can be attributed to nerves, but here you can see him driving these very safely. Has his origins in the style of trials and RPG tracks. Obstacle maps for Bren, but oh, a little bit stuck. Does get through now though, passing Arthur just barely. Glust with a 1.5 second lead, clipping a little bit as he approaches the jump and has a bit of a grimace. Same for Bren. Not too happy with their approaches. What about Arthur? Does Glust land this jump into the Quarterpipe? It looks good, but oh no, the landing's bad. He possibly does not have the speed. Does actually. Oh no, he falls off the side and Arthur face plant. It's Bren in first, and how much is this going to cost Glust? He misses again. Carl Jr. has third, but I think Glust can get fourth here and survive despite the mistake. That was only 5 points lost in potential value. Offie very high up in the sky right now, looking to land the Quarterpipe himself. Binks taking the safe path. Only 320 there for Offie, but just enough to make it. He will clock in last there, 34 seconds behind. It's a rough map. Gwen has not gotten too cleanly through it in 2 of the 3 rounds. The 4th and final round here will be very important for him. Else he might have been better off picking the pizza map. He holds the world record with a 140, Gwen. Ooh, Offie's missed the press forward. Something you see some controller players struggling a little bit with, as the controller can just steer ever so slightly, a few percentage points. And that means that you will not be going in a straight line anymore and getting the same outcome. Now Gwen for the bug slide. He loves to go for this strat. He's the only player doing it, and he just gained a 3 second with that. Now trying to slow down on this edge and set up for this double rail immediately. And okay, watch out. He is pacing right now. He is going to be, I think, around 3 to 4 seconds ahead. It is very hard to keep up with this unless Carl can do it. Gwen has a safe shot for that. Oh, Carl is actually keeping up. Both of them on such good pace. Everyone else is left in the dust in this race. Oh, Carl missed! Gwen has almost a 10-second lead at this point after hitting all those fast strats, and wow, even risking here. He does know this on the checkpoint splits now. There's no need to risk, but it doesn't look like he's planning on slowing down. It does not look like he's planning on breaking his rhythm. Sometimes it's easier to drive a map like you're used to instead of playing it too awfully safe. But it was such a close battle for that second place. Does Gwen hit the timing? Does look good for this Quarterpipe. Shakes his head mid-jump, not happy with the airtime, I think. Despite being 7 seconds ahead of second place and landing the ramp perfectly. The Trackmania player in him is saying it could have been better. But it's 10 more points for Gwen. Lust also, spectacular performance here. Will be first place at the end of this map, Lust. So he can be happy that Gwen picked this. Gwen should be getting quite close to third place in this match now overall. But for Binks, this has been a rough map. He's going to have to look forward to the next one instead. Not really a good map for him here, Binks, and he knows it. But the frustration is very visible. Offie chose this map. It's a really interesting map to me as a Trackmania player. It looks flat and boring in comparison to some of the other things we've seen. Does not have any fancy Quarterpipe jumps. Does not have any fancy loops or anything. This is just perfect racing. There are so many tight drifts you can do in this map, and they do a technique called neo sliding. At low speeds in Trackmania, at under 180 speed, or when you don't have the time to set up a new drift regularly, players do what's known as a neo slide. You tap steering once, and then you tap brake, and then hold steering. Arthur missed this neo slide into the wall. But if you look at the wheels, they will wobble a bit before each turn. It's like bump, bump, 2 taps. And if you can do these consistently, you can get a really good time on this map. Carl Jr. into the wall. Previously a world champion on the tech style, when that was what they played, the only style they played at that time. But now, adding some elements like dirt here does make it quite interesting. Offie is nearly first place on his own map choice, but Gwen is up there as well. two of them have a 2 to 3/10 lead against every other player before these last slides. And a very instructive moment here. If you're learning Trackmania, they drift to the left here to set up a better right drift for this final slalom, and Offie holds on for first place by a 10th of a second. Beautiful times. Anything in 56 low to 55 high is a spectacular on this map, and they both score really good points here. 55.4 is the world record though. Second round coming through now, and it's a balancing act. How much do you want to risk? If you drive safely and you don't do these risky neo slides close to the walls, you're not going to score a lot of points. But if you crash one early into the round, you're not going to have any fighting chance like Gwen there. Crashing into one of the earliest drifts, and Offie so clean in these first couple of corners. Really just using the space given to him on the track to perfection. But here's Binks as well. He scored a couple of points that last round, and now he's back here. Shows how much the map will plays a part. All three of them just about equal into the dirt, where they're aiming for the outside dirt line, staying high on this edge and carrying the speed. Carl Jr. getting it just about perfectly. Now leading against Offie with a 10th before the final two corners. Binks carrying a lot of speed here in third place, but crashes out, and Grady takes that place. Who's going to win this round, though? Is it Offie or Carl? Offie with the best approach. Offie outmaneuvering Carl by a 10th and taking a 55 and 10 more points for himself. 20 out of 20 possible points right now on his own map choice. And a lot of players, despite this map looking simple, actually choose to ban this map, simply because the gaps are so marginal, and if you can't neo slide that well, you're gonna not score that much. But Offie here, he's in his domain right now. He's in his element. Look at these drifts. Knows perfectly how much he can afford to go between the walls, and I do not think we will see him crash here. He is feeling very confident, and this goes so much along the Offie playstyle that we see in Trackmania Grand League. He had maps there where Agility Dash, for example, where he just would not crash. Same for the map called Back and Forth. Dominating those maps, and that's how he and his teammate won the regular season Grand League. But now Gwen has found more pace than him into the outside line. Carl Jr. is up there as well. This battle is far from over as they have more speed. Two turns from main. The first one here, followed by the drift to the left, and then that tiny slalom hairpin. Gwen still with the car length. Offie though pushing a lot, but Gwen holds on and takes the 10 points this time. It is 8 for Offie, and it is 6 for Carl Jr. Grady keeping up as well. Has to be said, Grady plays this on keyboard rather than the steering wheel, as it lets him neo slide more frequently. Neo sliding on a steering wheel is almost impossible, and so he's doing really well for playing on a secondary device. But look at the scores. 44, 44, 43, and 39, 38. It's so close between these top 5 players. Only Bren, Arthnir, and Binks have not gotten off to a great start on the scoreboard yet. Oh, Bren missing the neo slide here as well. Not really getting through. And now we're seeing in the face cam, Offie and Gwen side by side. Gwen with the inside line here. Such a good approach, but Offie maybe having the upper hand before the dirt. Oh, beautiful apex as well there. Side by side. Onto the outside, Offie hitting that way better, and look at that. Gwen missed one outside turn. He got passed by 5 players. That's how close it is. Carl Jr. now getting closer to first place. Glossed in there as well into the last 2 corners. The hairpin turn, drifting for the setup. Carl Jr. Beautiful maneuvering, and he takes it. No, he does not. Really looked like Carl was ahead, but Offie scoring 38 out of 40 points on his map choice. And with that, he will climb all the way up into first place in the match. Although by only 1 point, still making almost max value out of that pick of Lantern. This next map, though, is not picked by Gwen. It's picked by Bren, but you should pay attention to Gwen on this. Gwen set the world record on this map earlier today, a 57.7. With the risky ending strategy here, where you see instead of going straight, they go onto the pipe on the left to carry even more speed. Exceptionally risky stuff, but he had the speed to do it once. Can he pull it off in the final? We already had a mistake on the left. A little bit of time lost from Offie, I believe. Carl Jr. getting a beautiful dirt turn. The others pushing, the pipe turns more. Grady almost sliding off, glossed into first. the downhill now. Slowing down a lot. Gwen getting a bad bounce, and Bren and Glust are gaining even more time. Glust getting a beautiful exit there as well, and he's looking for a 10-pointer here. Had beautiful chances on the trial map, and this is quite similar in style, but Bren, so much speed through the logo. Also barely makes it under that ledge now. Only about 2/10 up to first place. Does get a better bounce than Glust. More speed onto the pipe. Will go for the straight line. Does he get a backflip here? Has to hope for good bounces to the finish. Oh, he makes it. Glust in second, Grenady third. Very close battle there. And pay attention to the times. That was a 59.49. Gwen earlier today in the semifinals dropped a 57.7. How, you might ask? I have no idea. It is unheard of the pace that Gwen has on paper, but it is also so up and down whether he can deliver it or whether he crashes and makes a mistake. He's a loose cannon, glass cannon built for Gwen. We see more consistency from others here. Outside crash from Bren, not the most ideal. Carl once again with a good dirt start, and here Gwen is rushing that pipe, making a breakaway from the rest of the field. Onto the downhill, slowing down here. Carl with an awkward bump, controlling it though. Now Gwen versus Grady. Gwen with more speed. A little bit less airtime for Grenady. He's gonna help him stabilize. Has to push this corner to catch up to Gwen, and he is not going to get much closer as Gwen does it at full speed. Glust as well, up in first and second. The last pipe for Gwen. Does he make it across here? A lot of nerves. Goes for the risky and misses it. Oh, and that's a slow bounce. He might not make it to the finish that easily. It's going to be Bren winning the round ahead of Glust, and Gwen drops all the way to fifth. He was trying to do this left side pipe in the ending, but he pays the price. And really good points for Bren on his map choice to level the scoreboard even further. Arthur in last as well, scoring decent points to bring him closer too. Also seeing on the scoreboard now that the time for Gwen is indeed not actually the world record, but there is one more skip that they're finding two inconsistent for rounds, which is the time difference. And that will be skipping across this pipe here and landing on the other one. If you incorporate that and the risky ending, then you end up with a time around 56.6, but already the times they're driving are really fast here. Bren with another good start. Ooh, and we see someone stalling the car a little bit. Not what you want to get. I think that was Binks. Gwen in first. Bren very close. Is he gonna dare in this last round of this map to go for that risky jump onto the pipe? Bren has a lot of speed. He might do it. He slows down to go on the safe side. Hits the wall a little bit, but Gwen does not. Grenady is the one who gets the last lap, has the most exit speed onto that red platform, and the speed slides to follow and take the 10 points. The table turned several times there, but good points for them all. Actually, one more round here to be played as Uffy now and Gwen and Carl have crossed over 60 points. That means they're halfway to the point limit. Want to reiterate here, 120 points is what they play towards. Once you reach 120 points, you then have to win one more round to win this tournament and the $66,000 prize. Absolutely mental to think about, and the players just have to take this one round at a time. Bren, another fast start, another excellent use of this map pick. If he makes it through, he first picked it in the semifinal. He picked it when he could here in the grand final. Now has a chance to prove its worth, and he falls off the pipe. Very unfortunate for Bren, who was climbing all the way back from the last couple of spots there. Uffy versus Gwen on the last jump now. Gwen with the best speed by far. Not going to go for the left side. Is going to try to go for a straight jump, but he hits the flag. Glust turtling. Carl might snipe it away, and he does by a 1/10 of a second. And Gwen and Bren falling all the way down here to 7th and 8th. Despite really fast starts that round. And now we're going to Grenady's map choice here. This is a map that favors very smooth movements, and preventing the car from sliding. And that is why Grady might be the favorite to take a lot of points here. You also have this bug slide through the checkpoint and then a lot of precise dirt parts. Small lanterns, here we go. Back into focus, a big shortcut down to the first checkpoint. And now you need to turn around and drop into the hole, into this checkpoint as well. You need to carry the gear to get there. Carl Jr. with an awkward landing. Did Grady make it? Yes, he did, but at a half a second, lost to some others. Now in between the market, this is where the steering wheel is really, really good. And out of this section, Grady has actually made a mistake, so it's Bren up in first, bug sliding through that checkpoint as well. Quite risky line, and Arthur is gonna catch up if Bren does not get it perfect. Another good bug slide for Arthur. Onto the dirt now. Some no slides to go before the finish. Can Arthur find 1800ths of a second in these last slalom corners? There's also a slightly risky jump to the finish where Bren could mess up, but he should make it through, and he does. Bren winning this first round on Marche Pair. And we do not have the points there on the left, but I believe they are counted by the admins already and will be updated after this. So let's hope that's the case. Gloss here, clocking in last. Now let's see the standings as they are. Hopefully, it's all back to normal. Let's see it. There we have it. Offie's in the lead now, 78. Carl on 77, Glust on 70, and Grady on 68. They hit the wall, turn around, get the second gear, and then drop into this checkpoint next to the finish. And then they pick up the finish. From the lower checkpoints, Arthur missing the slide. Grady as well, missing on his own map choice here. And it's Glenn with a massive lead. How did he gain a second on everyone else? Not doing the super risky triangle strategy here, but still so far ahead of everyone. Offie with a lot of speed though, despite that. Bug sliding through the checkpoint onto the outside line here. Still Glenn and Offie could score decent points to keep him further ahead of Carl here, as Carl is quite far down the scoreboard. Lost with a good no slide to push for second place. Bren pushing for third. Oh, too high. Bren, whoo, gets sixth place. Could have been a lot worse. But Glenn scoring a 10 there. Offie getting 6, Glust getting 8. Still gonna be Offie in the lead. Carl in second, and Glust and Glenn tied basically for third and fourth. Only pricing for the top 3. Cannot stress this enough. Oh, Glenn missing the speed. Glenn cannot go for the shortcut. Bren cannot either. Huge opportunity now for Grady. Needs to seize this moment, as some of the top players have failed, and he has an excellent start. Going around the holes now, getting the booster here, going outside pillar to get a better setup with more speed towards this checkpoint, dropping down, bug sliding around the checkpoint rather than going in the triangle like Lust, and carrying more speed on the dirt. Early setup here for Offie to get this type of line, but Grady should still have the speed to defend this, especially with the steering wheel, the best device you could have in this terrain. Offie's gonna try what he can, but Grady will perhaps find a round on his own map that he chose, his best map in the map pack. 51-6 for him, and 10 points, putting him at 80. But Offie still scoring so well here. 92 points total. Carl Jr. at 86, and Glust at 84. Closer and closer to 120. And it's looking a little bleak now for Arthur and Binks. They still have everything to play for, but they're also running out of time. They need to mount a comeback soon if they want to be in the mix. So the battle seems to be between the top 6 players right now for those prizes. Glenn getting the shortcut, it looked like, having the speed, but a bit of an awkward landing. Grady up in first by quite a lot onto this road clip. Have to react in a moment's notice to how your car adjusts. Carl off the ledge, misjudges his car spacing, and now Glenn versus Grady is the battle to take a look at in first and second. Both of them going through Carl upside down once more. Grady about a tenth ahead before the bug slide. The bug slide opposite directions. Gwen staying on the sand a bit longer, and Grady now having more speed. There's also Glust on the outside line there, catching up quite tremendously to Gwen, challenging him now through this section. The last no slide through. Are they going to hit the release timing perfectly under the ring? Grady winning the round ahead of Glust, and Gwen in third place. In the last round of Marche Pair, Grady still getting decent value out of it with 2 10-pointers back-to-back, but that could have gone a lot better in the early rounds as well. As we now go on to the maps picked by the Ascension organization. We do not know what's coming up here. These are Serrator decided, essentially. Let's see what we have. The tire map is the next one up, and this one has broken so many dreams in this tournament already. The last jump here is so precise. And then you add all the nerves, and then you add the biggest cash prize there's ever been in a Trackmania final. It's got to be nearly impossible to hit this jump, but if they manage, and to those who manage, they could gain big time here. Especially this right here, through that tire at the end of the map, is what we are taking a look at. Offie on 93 has led the match the entire way. Glust on 92, Grady on 90. Carl Jr. on 88 and Gwen on 85. Then a 10-point gap down to Bren. Let's take a look at the race as it unfolds. Gwen trying to land in an ice slide here. Hits mostly ice and not so much snow, so he will maintain first place. But now a very important ice slide where he hits a lot of snow and will be quite slow. Carl hitting the roof will get a little bit of that downhill, but it's not great. Binks is the guy with the most speed out of it. He has to lead before this ending. Bren has had several good runs on this map up to this point, but then the last jump has not been that consistent for him. You got to be quite far on the right side on this grass turn, slow down a little bit, and then aim for the part in between the spokes and go all the way to the downhill. Glust gets it, Binks gets it, and Bren, under all the pressure, they all get it. And it's a fantastic round for this map, but it's Binks that gets 10 from last place. He could maybe climb a little higher and mount a comeback, but it's looking far. Glust now in the lead of the match against all these titans in Trackmania esports. You have Offie, you have Grady, you have Carl, you have Gwen, you have world champions in this lobby, and yet it's Glust leading the match at 98, but the pressure is there, and the no slide is not. He slides off the platform down into last. So much at stake here. Through the Ascension logo, there's one roof hit, that is Gwen, losing a lot of speed across. Bren, Carl, and Binks now tied up before the decisive ending jump. They all got it good last time. Carl with an opportunity now, as some of the other top players have failed. Carl gets first here. Then he could also claim first in the overall score, and Bren does have a bounce there. Does Carl hit the aim? Bren gets it at the very least, and Carl is able to stabilize and get into first place. How much is this going to do on the scoreboard? Gwen is there in third, Offie fourth, Grady fifth, but for Glust, this is very unfortunate. Last place here in this round. Carl's going to be at 99, Offie at 101, Grady at 98, and Glust at 99. This is absolutely absurd. It's so close. Look at the points. 120 is the limit, and then 1 round win is what you need to end the entire tournament, to claim the top prize. Gwen missing the line there, clipping a bit on the inside. Glust has gotten a good start now. Bren letting the nosedive a little bit, but Binks consistently finds himself near the front here. But Glust is there now. And if he had a big opportunity earlier, this is one that he cannot squander. This is for the tournament. Fighting yourself in top 2 here with 1 jump to go. That basically decides the entire round. He has to hit this jump. That would put him into first place in the match overall standings. Versus Binks now. A little bit on the left side, maybe a little bit low speed, bounces too much. It's going to be an awkward setup. Binks here though, clean, surgical execution. He will make it. Who is in second place? Is it Carl Jr. now? Carl Jr. second, Arthur third. Gloss does lock in fourth place and keeps himself in contention. But it is Carl Jr. in the lead of the match now with 107 points. Offie 105, Gloss 104, Grady at 100, and Gwen at 94 is the current standings. So close, 13 points away for Carl, who somehow, time and time again, no matter the tournament, no matter the odds, finds himself clutching up in these moments and winning when it matters most. That's how he is, the GOAT of the game. 8th place though out of the start here. Not the best pace on the ice here, but a beautiful jump and so much speed that will carry across the straight. You can see he risked very close to the roof, and that's why he's catching up so much to the others. Right now, Arthur, who's in last in the match, is in first, but Grady has an excellent opportunity to get some good points as he passes Grady, as he passes Arthur on that grass part. Grady now setting up for the last corner, getting through the spoke of the tire here is so important. Does he have the speed? It looks like a good setup. Arthur's out. Grady for 10 points takes that in a very important round, but it's 8 for Carl, it's 4 for Offie, 5 for Gloss as well. Carl 5 points away now from finalist mode. Offie at 109, Gloss at 109, Grady at 110, and we're switching map. And what are we switching map to? What is going to be potentially the decider map? It's Pizza Map! It is the Pizza Map. We need a map presentation. This is Pizza Map, the final map that Raider made for the tournament. He made 2 map packs and then this one after both the qualifiers were played. Gwen just dropped the world record on this in the semifinals. 105.2. No one else in this lobby has driven under a 107, I dare say, in the matches here. Arthur was close, but Gwen is really quick on this if he hits the jumps. Setting up for a bug slide here, flicking into a second bug slide in this downhill. It's good for Grady, but he has to save this ending a little bit of the bug slide. Arthur up in first, but there's Gwen as well with a lot of speed now. Getting across to the platform. Arthur's missed. And look at what I was saying, Gwen in first. Binks is only 0.15 behind, and Glost is in third. Glost and Gwen right now have such a great opportunity, especially Glost, as Gwen is quite far behind the scoreboard. Does Glost hit the flip? He has to release, he has to save now. Gwen is too far gone, cannot catch him, but 8 points for Glost will put him up in the temporary first place if he makes it there. Gwen jumping across to the pipe, very likely to win this round. Unstoppable pace on Pizza Map. And one last flip will do it for Gwen. 106.02. Gloss though gets a clutch second place, hopping up to 117 points. Grady on 116. Where is Carl? Where is Offie? They're almost last. Carl getting 3. Carl not getting to finalists here. And Offie only getting a single point, it looks like. It's going to put him at 110. It is Carl 1 point ahead of Glost, 1 point ahead of Grady, and then Gwen, the pace monster, could deny all of them. We could have a quad finalist here because Gwen is going to drive really fast, and Carl, Glost, and Grady are all a bit likely to get finalists after this one round. Everything in the tournament hinges on these next 2 rounds here, and it could potentially all be over. Bren missing the start. That is really important for the top point players, as it's now extremely likely that they might get to finalists. Binks into the pillar makes it even more likely. But who's going to get what? Glost into the checkpoint with a really unfortunate respawn. Is that trapped? He's trapped at the checkpoint. I don't know how the respawn works there, but he's going to be quite far behind. He only needs 3 points. Gwen here though with a lot of pace. Can Carl Jr. match it? Can Carl Jr. deny Gwen here somehow? Not that he has to, but he could, just for points. Gwen suddenly being a big threat to winning this match if he gets 4 in a row here on Pizza Map. Into the ending, Arthur is there as well. Carl only needs 2 points. Does not have to take big risks here, just needs to save the ending and secure this. Gwen off the pipe to the side. How much is that going to cost him? That might cost him 5 spots. Arthur missing the fin. Grady in second, Gwen third, Offie fourth. Does Gloss get 3 points? He does not. Gloss does not get the 3 points for finalist mode. He's stuck on that checkpoint where he crashed. But we're gonna have double finalists. Carl and Grady are finalists. Uffy at 115, Gloss 118, Gwen 112. Here we go. If either Carl or Grady win this round, the tournament's over. It's for $66,000 in one round of Trackmania. It is absolutely mental. The energy in the stadium is erupting right now. Everyone's on their toes, watching as this could be the round that decides everything. Carl with a great bug slide, gets a good exit as well, decent at least, but Grady gets it even better. Arthnir's there, a little bit to the right, he hits the pillar. It is the two finalists up in top two. Grady versus Carl. Carl on the left side here, coming through. Bren in third, 0.3 behind, joining Carl on the shortcut. Binks is there as well. Can Bren deny them both? Bren looking the most likely to deny everyone here. Great flip across to the platform, cannot afford to clip any edges here. Carl will not. Carl did not clip a single edge, but Bren is extending a lot. 0.4 ahead, needs to hit the last pipe or Carl Jr. will be the Ascension champion. Only one player left to get past, but Bren, one flip remains. Bren denies Carl Jr. Bren denies, and everyone else can be so relieved. Grady still has a chance. Gloss still has a chance. Gloss needs this. Gloss is finalist too. We're going to have 4 finalists, and Bren's on 116 as well. Gwen is on 116. 4 finalists, 2 players on 116. This is insane. Who is going to be the champion? Anyone can win it. It's one round. It comes down to a single round. Every prediction is out the books right now. This is all about who can clutch up and drive the run of their life. A defining moment in your career if you win this tournament. The bug slide matters more than ever. Carl going so far on the inside here. It's not looking that great, but he might be able to save it, and he has to go slow. Carl has to go slow. Gwen up in first. Does he hit the flip here? Looks pretty good. Tries to get low air time now for the shortcut. Arthnir's right there as well. Gwen onto the shortcut transition here again. Trailing so closely is Glust, who is finalist, and Glust has an opportunity now to close out the tournament for himself. He is going against the fastest player on this map, but as one player falls, it is only Gwen remaining. If Gwen ever fails this ending here, and Binks perhaps as well, he could have had it. Now it's looking less likely. Gwen looking for his finalist mode. Binks looking for some points as well. Is Gwen going to get the last jump to go into finalists? Gwen is finalist as well. And we have 5 finalists in the final. We have 6! 6 finalists! It's literally a coin flip. Is there one more round? Is there one more round of pizza map? We're changing maps, I think. I think we're changing maps. 6 times finalists. You couldn't ask for a better script. What is the last map? Grotesque! It's Gloss's favorite map! It is Gloss's favorite map. Gloss likes this one, Arthnir likes this one, Bren also likes this one. There's a shortcut on the left side that they could dare to go for. If they dare to go to the left side and start, you can gain a 10th, and that 10th of a second could win you the tournament. We have a small breather here as the players drive one warm-up. There's also a risky flip in the ending, but more than likely, it's coming down to this first round. It's going to end right here. Get some hype for your favorite players. This decides the tournament. Gwen is going for the shortcut. Arthnir is going for it. Carl, they're all going for it. The extra speed is gained can be shown here. Who is going to win? Gloss got a good start. Gwen had a good start as well. Bren, another finalist with a good start. Arthnir is in the mix, and he is not a finalist yet, but he's very quick on this map. Bren a little wide there, but still good, keeps a lot of speed. Carl into the pillar almost, there's one player lost. A mistake as well from Gwen, I believe. Arthnir is beating everyone though. Is he going to postpone the match? Is he going to deny every finalist here and keep the match going? Still fighting till the bitter end, or is someone going to pass him in the cave? Bren is the closest, Gwen is right there, Carl is right there as well. Uffy coming through. Arthnir needs to hit this flip. He could keep the match going one more time. Is he getting it? Arthnir, he denies everyone. There's no way. We go again. And to the players that failed, to Glust, for example, who crashed early on, he gets a new chance here. Shortcut once again. You cannot afford to clip any edges or it's out. Carl with a lot of speed. Got really good onto that ledge. Carrying it down the hill here now through this first small cave up on the plateau. Who's going to have the best speed through? It looks like Carl's gotten that good once more. And Bren has an even better start. Bren failing there though, landing tilted. Now finding himself side by side with Gwen, North and Carl. These three players have made a breakaway. It's 3/10 down to Glust. Glust is far. It comes down to these three players perhaps. Carl, Gwen, and Arthnir. Can Arthnir deny? Will Gwen run away with it? Carl is there. He's going to try to defend his throne. It's going into the cave. Arthnir has a lot of speed. Inside line. Who is going to take it? Gwen. Super wide. He needs a low flip. Arthnir for the flip. Gwen. Gwen is going to win. Gwen is the champion. Gwen wins Ascension.
L'Ascension qui est le match avec en deuxième position Carl Junior et Granadi. Top 2 et top 3, c'est fini.
The tournament's over. Gwen wins. I think Carl got second, and I don't know who got third. But what a match. What an insane match. It is unbelievable. The biggest Trackmania tournament we've ever had on the biggest stage with the best audience. This crowd's amazing. He's going to lift the trophy. He is your champion, Gwen. Winning the biggest Trackmania tournament of all time. Only 19 years old, started playing when he was 4. And now it's all coming to fruition. Here is the standings. Carl in second, Grenadi in third, as well as the earnings from the other steps. If you enjoy this tournament, the one man you have to thank most of all is the guy on the left of the screen right now, Serator, putting these events on for 10 years and ending with a bang here in the Ascension tournament, the last Trackmania tournament he will do for a while, he has said. Spectacular, spectacular entertainment, and there it is. A round of applause for Gwen. A massive solo win.